What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. No articles, but I do have some good information. And by the way, I think I am going to start straying away from articles for the most part. It's a lot easier just to tell you guys the information that I'm actually gathering online without going through the paperwork and stuff like that. But the first thing I want to talk about is the trailer to Smile 2. I think we've talked about the horror movie Smile on the podcast before, Popcorn Square, of course. Like I said, one of my favorite original horror films, actually, as of recently, that's come out. It's not the best film in the world, but it is decent, has a decent story, some really cool plot twists within the story, and they have just officially released the trailer for it. Now, this is being brought to us by Paramount, and I believe Smile 2 comes out in October. I think the date was October 18th, but don't quote me on that. You guys are going to have to look into that one. But yeah, the trailer came out a couple days ago. I thought it was awesome. They're actually taking a different spin to the story. It doesn't look like it's following the same characters as the first story. It looks like it's going to be a whole nother story, and it looks like they're really upping the ante with this. Very excited about this film, and I'm very excited to see what they do with the story. You know, we've talked about films like this. Usually they're really good at 2 films, maybe 3 at most. I think if they can find a way to expand the universe of the Smile, occurrence or phenomena, I think 3 would be perfect. I think a trilogy would be a nice way to top this thing off, but I am very excited for Smile 2. If you have watched the first Smile, I think you will be a big fan of this trailer, and I think it will get you excited, especially if you didn't know that they were actually doing a second film for this. So, with that being said, yeah, Smile 2, go watch that trailer. Awesome. Speaking of trailers, this morning we actually got a trailer for The Penguin. This is going to be a spinoff from the Batman series, the new Batman with Robert Pattinson, of course. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch that. That came out in 2022. Once again, another great movie, one of my favorite Batman films, but they're going to be focusing on Colin Farrell's The Penguin. We did get a trailer for this before. I think it was maybe late last year, but now we've gotten the second trailer for the show. So it looks like they're gearing up to get this show out. I think it does come out in the fall, and it is going to be premiering on Max. I don't know how many episodes are going to be in the show, but I think I am going to be watching it, and I do have Max, so I think I am going to watch that. I love how this show looks. It really just looks like an extension of everything we've seen in Matt Reeves' Batman. So with that being said, I think it's going to be pretty high quality. I think it kind of holds people over until we do get that second Batman film, which I believe is coming out either late 2025 or 2026. I don't know if they pushed it back again, but I did get some news that it is going to be coming out later on in the future. But I think The Penguin is going to help with that, along with Dune Prophecy as well. If anybody's a fan of Dune, they got a show coming out for that. It's just interesting how everything is getting a show now. I think it kind of waters down the product. It kind of waters down the theatrical and cinematic experience of a lot of these stories. And so I don't think it's a look in the right direction, but I also do think it keeps fans intrigued with the story, and it keeps them engaged in what's going on within that universe while the films are being made. So, you know, if you guys can come up with quality stuff at these big studios and you can push it out and you can make it a show, have it be that format, then that works. But as soon as you start watering down the story and the product, that's when it's not that good. So hopefully The Penguin is able to capitalize on that, and hopefully Dune Prophecy is able to capitalize on that. Let's see, what else do we got here? Another thing, Inside Out 2, we got news on that. This is a Pixar film. Now we know Disney did acquire Pixar, so this is a Disney project, but this is an animated film for the kids. Let me tell you guys, this thing is doing amazing. It's not surprising to me. It's summertime. Kids want to get out. Families want to get out. They want to take their kids to something they don't have to, think too much about. And this is a movie that has a following. The first film did okay. I don't believe it actually did as good as the second film is doing. But usually, some of these films take time, especially these animated films. People need to trust in some of these animated films. And I think Inside Out has gotten the trust. I think Pixar has done a really good job of rolling out this film. I think the time slot that they chose to put this film out in is actually perfect. And I think that's why it is reaping the rewards. I think this film is at $438 million right now, and that's just within the first week. I think the budget for this film was actually pretty decent too. $200 million, that is a lot for an animated film. I know there's a lot of work that does go into an animated film, but $200 million is a lot. But, it doesn't really matter if you can recoup that money. Now, for this film to be a success to me, I think it needs to hit about upwards of $650 million. And, the way it's looking, I think this film could be at $700 million by the 24th of June. So I think this film is going to do very well, and I think this film is also in the running to have one of the biggest box offices of the year. Also, guys, we have the Minions coming out in July, so I think that's going to be another animated film that's going to do very well. I think the Minions could arguably beat out Inside Out too, but that's just something we're going to have to wait for. Guys, if you're interested in something that's lighthearted, animated film, Pixar's Inside Out 2 is in theaters now, and it is doing pretty good. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I think, it's something for the kids, grandkids, if you want to take them out to that. I think it'll be something that they'll really like and that everybody can enjoy from every age demographic. The last thing I have to say, we got the popcorn bucket news, guys. We have another popcorn bucket. This is for Deadpool and Wolverine. So this information that I got is from the direct. I'll just read through it real quick. But it says Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn buckets, where to buy and when they'll release. This is really cool. Let's read a little bit. The need for information about where and when theater goers can buy eagerly awaited Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn buckets is rising. 2024 marked a new era for themed popcorn buckets when the marketing tour for Dune Part 2 introduced a bucket inspired by the film's sandworms. This caused quite a stir over social media as the visual quickly went viral. Not to be outdone, Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds teased the Deadpool and Wolverine's bucket would not be one to miss. Guys, this bucket is absolutely awesome. I'm actually going to take the link to where I'm getting this information from, and I'm going to put it down in the description so you guys can see the bucket if you have not seen the bucket. I'm sure if you've been on YouTube or any movie news websites, you've seen this bucket. I think this bucket's kind of funny looking. It kind of reminds me of like the Lego Batman, but just imagine Wolverine's face. I think it's really funny. But yeah, this popcorn bucket is supposed to be available at AMC theaters. They actually haven't said when they're going to have them available, but I would assume they'd have them available the week of the film. And I don't know if there's a price attached as well. I think this is going to be really good in the resale market. I'm sure they're going to have some type of rule within AMC to where it's only like 1 or 2 buckets per viewer, or I guess if you go with 2 people, you get 2 buckets, but it might be 1 per. But I could definitely see these things doing well in the resellers market. But yeah, this bucket looks hilarious. I think this is a good marketing strategy. This is Marvel and Disney's only big film coming out this year. So I just think they're putting everything into this from all aspects. The marketing, the necklaces, the popcorn bucket, the posters, everything. So I think this is a really good marketing ploy, and I think, they're kind of just following up on what Dune did. It stirs up controversy, gets people talking, it gets people excited, and I think the actual creation of this bucket and just the marketing behind it fits Deadpool way more, because Deadpool is like an action comedy, and I think this bucket just really helps with that marketing. So yeah, guys, that's really all I got. That's going to be it for today's episode. We had some good information for you guys. Talked about Smile 2. I'm going to have the trailer in the description. Talked about the Penguin trailer that came out today. I'll have that link in the description as well. Talked about news regarding these animated films, Inside Out 2, Minions coming up next month. And then we talked about Wolverine, the Wolverine and Deadpool popcorn bucket, or I should say Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket. So with that being said, that's going to do it for this broadcast of The Weekly, guys. Tune in to the Popcorn Square podcast dropping on Mondays. Tune into that. Like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell for notifications. Always share with a friend and continue to watch the episodes and the broadcasts. Be safe.